There was once a woman who believed she could read anyone. She spoke with the confidence of someone who thought intuition was truth. When she met another woman, calm, smiling, kind, she saw nothing but innocence. What she didn't see were the quiet calculations behind that gentle gaze. The subtle pauses, the measured words, the way her kindness shaped itself to the listener. Weeks later, when everything fell apart, she realized something brutal. She hadn't seen her. She'd seen what she wanted to see. And Nietzsche once warned, "We are all artists of our own illusions." Every human being wears meaning like a disguise. Behind charm, there may be control. Behind humility, hunger. If you want to read anyone instantly, you must stop listening to words and start listening to motives. This is what Nietzsche understood better than anyone. People rarely reveal who they are. They reveal what they need. And if you can see that, you will never be fooled again. If you're here, it's not by chance. You're watching DarkPhilsy, the one place where truth cuts deeper than comfort. Subscribe before the illusion pulls you back into sleep. Now, let's decode Nietzsche's 20 psychological truths for seeing anyone clearly. Truth 1. Every person is ruled by their hidden wound. We do not act from clean motives. We move from old hurts disguised as reason. A cheerful man who laughs with everyone may carry a private resentment that steers his choices. A woman who gives without asking may be guarding a room that was once empty. Nietzsche knew that love and madness often braid together. Pain writes the scripts we play. Learn to sense the wound behind the smile, the odd hesitation, the swallowed praise, the way a quiet phrase returns like a ripple. When you find what triggers them, you begin to read the story beneath the face. Not just their surface behavior, but the damage that drives it. Watch those moments. Truth lives there. Truth 2. People seek power more than happiness. We claim to want peace, but we crave control. Every argument, every compliment, every silence, it's all an attempt to shape reality. Even love, Nietzsche said, is the will to possess. Watch how people handle uncertainty, and you'll know who they are. Those who can't sit still without control are the ones most enslaved by it. Truth 3. Weakness hides itself as virtue. Some people appear kind only because they're afraid to confront. Some appear humble because they fear being seen. Nietzsche warned that virtues can be the defense mechanisms of the weak. To read someone truly, don't look at their goodness, look at the cost of it. If their kindness demands your silence, it's not kindness, it's control. Truth 4. People hide their true motives beneath virtue. Most people don't act from kindness. They act from need. Their goodness is a mask for hunger. A person gives not because they love you, but because they crave to be seen as good. Nietzsche said, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that he does not become one." But often the monster is disguised as morality itself. Behind every selfless act lies a transaction, validation, control, redemption. Once you start to see this, you stop being easily manipulated by flattery or guilt. You start to ask, what do they gain by appearing kind? Truth 5. Weak men hide behind politeness. Weakness doesn't show as tears, it shows as compliance. The man who can't say no will dress his fear as decency. He smiles to hide resentment, apologizes for existing, and calls it virtue. Nietzsche despised this. He saw politeness without strength as decay. True morality is not in submission, but in power restrained. A weak man who avoids conflict loses not only respect, but his own voice. If you wish to read a man instantly, Look at how he handles pressure. Does he yield for peace or stand for his truth? Truth 6. Admiration often masks envy. When people praise you too quickly, look for the tremor beneath their smile. Admiration and envy are siblings, both born from comparison. Nietzsche wrote that envy is the fear of one's own inferiority. Some will call you inspiring just to study how to outshine you. Others will flatter you while secretly resenting your existence. True admiration is quiet. It doesn't demand to be seen. But false admiration is loud and inconsistent. When someone praises you today and withdraws tomorrow, understand it was never about you, but about the mirror you held up to them. Truth 7. Some people seek chaos to feel alive. Not everyone wants peace. Some crave the storm. To them, silence is unbearable. They need drama to validate their existence. Nietzsche said, one must have chaos within to give birth to a dancing star. But for many, the chaos never births anything. It just consumes. These are the ones who ruin good relationships for a thrill, who create fires just to feel the heat. You'll know them by the way peace makes them uneasy. Stay near them long enough, and they'll start a war just to see if you'll fight for them. Truth 8. The one who controls emotion controls the room. Logic rarely wins hearts. Composure does. The person who stays calm while others erupt holds invisible power. Nietzsche taught that self-mastery is the highest form of strength. Anger reveals weakness. Restraint radiates control. When someone insults you, they're not attacking you. They're inviting you to their level. Decline the invitation. The loudest one in the room is rarely the strongest. They're the one trying hardest to be seen. Learn to stay still in chaos. Silence unsettles the unbalanced. Truth 9. People tell you who they are. You just don't listen. The truth isn't hidden, it's spoken in passing. The liar admits his deceit through jokes. The selfish reveal themselves in small preferences. Nietzsche observed that a man's habits are the architecture of his soul. Listen closely. People confess through behavior, not words. The woman who interrupts others craves dominance. The man who gossips will eventually betray. We ignore these clues because we want to believe in potential. But potential is just fantasy until proven otherwise. People show you truth early. It's denial that blinds you. Truth 10. Every relationship is a power exchange. Even love is a negotiation of dominance and submission. Someone always wants more control, even subconsciously. Nietzsche saw love not as harmony, but as struggle, each soul wrestling for influence. The one who loves more loses leverage. The one who needs fewer commands respects. This isn't cynicism, it's observation. Power imbalance doesn't always mean cruelty, it means awareness. Know what role you're playing, giver or taker, and decide if it serves you. Truth 11. The victim mask is the most manipulative of all. Some people weaponize their wounds. They turn suffering into leverage. Nietzsche warned that resentment is the revenge of the powerless. When someone constantly tells you how others wronged them, they're preparing you to play savior. Once you do, they'll make you feel guilty for failing them. Their weakness becomes a trap. The more you help, the more they need. Be kind, but not blind. Some victims don't want healing. They want control through sympathy. Truth 12. Authenticity threatens the insecure. To be real is to be dangerous. People who wear masks feel exposed around those who don't. Nietzsche said, the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. Authenticity makes cowards uncomfortable. It mirrors their dishonesty. You'll notice they call your truth arrogance, your peace ego. Don't dim to be accepted. Every great mind was once misunderstood. Remember, you threaten not by attacking, but by existing without disguise. Truth 13. People love you for the role you play, not who you are. The world doesn't see your soul, it sees your utility. Nietzsche called this the economy of the spirit. People attach to what you provide: attention, validation, comfort. When that role ends, so does their affection. This is why kindness often meets betrayal, because love built on usefulness collapses when the use expires. Don't confuse attachment with loyalty. The former depends on what you give, the latter on who you are. Truth 14. The strong are hated more than the evil. Strength provokes resentment. Weakness inspires comfort. Nietzsche observed that we hate in others what we cannot become. Many don't despise cruelty. They despise superiority. That's why they attack confidence, but excuse mediocrity. True power doesn't beg to be liked. To be envied is proof you're visible. To be hated is proof you're free. Let their disdain remind you that strength offends the insecure. Truth 15. Betrayal always comes decorated as loyalty. No one betrays you wearing fangs. They come cloaked in devotion. Nietzsche once said, "Love is a state in which a man sees things most decidedly as they are not." The closer someone gets, the easier it is for them to strike. Loyalty without boundaries invites corrosion. Observe how someone behaves when they're offered bane at your expense. That's when you'll see who they truly serve. Truth 16. Flattery is the most elegant form of control. Flattery is never free. Every compliment hides a request. Every sweet word has a price. Nietzsche saw praise as a subtle form of domination, to make you depend on another's approval. The flatterer studies your ego like a lock to be picked. They tell you what you long to hear, so you'll open the door yourself. True respect is quiet. Manipulation is melodic. When someone praises you too early or too often, ask, why do they want me comfortable? The moment you stop needing validation, flattery loses its power. Truth 17. People don't want truth. They want comfort. Most people claim to seek truth, but they crave reassurance. Nietzsche wrote, "People do not want to hear the truth because they do not want their illusions destroyed." Truth is heavy. Comfort is soft. The wise know that truth wounds before it frees. So the masses live in pleasant lies. They'd rather be comforted by delusion than haunted by clarity. When you speak truth, expect hostility, not because you're wrong, but because you've disturbed their peace. Remember, truth-tellers are rarely loved in their lifetime. Truth 18. Silence is the most terrifying response. To those addicted to attention, silence feels like death. Nietzsche believed silence was the language of the strong. It leaves others alone with their conscience. The insecure demand reaction. The powerful withdraw it. When you stop defending, explaining, or arguing, you force others to see themselves. Silence is a mirror. It reflects truth without words. Use it not as punishment, but as revelation. Those who fear your silence never valued your voice. Truth 19. What you despise reveals what you secretly desire. The things we hate most often reflect what we suppress. Nietzsche said, "Beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become one." When you condemn others for vanity, power, or lust, ask why those things disturb you. Often, It's because you envy their freedom to express what you repress. We disguise jealousy as morality. The mind wages silent wars between what it craves and what it's allowed to want. To read someone instantly, look at what triggers their disgust. It's the shadow of their desire.
Truth 20. The one who knows himself cannot be controlled. Self-awareness is the ultimate rebellion. Nietzsche declared, "He who knows why he lives can bear almost any how." The world manipulates only the unexamined. When you know your weaknesses, they can't be used against you. When you understand your patterns, no one can pull your strings. Most people live as strangers to themselves, guided by emotion, enslaved by impulse. But the self-aware are dangerous. They respond. They don't react. To know yourself deeply is to become untouchable.
Most people walk through life asleep, fooled by smiles, words, promises, and pity. But if you've listened this far, you've stepped beyond that comfort. You've seen the invisible patterns Nietzsche tried to expose. How truth hides beneath fear and character beneath control. The world belongs to those who see. So stay awake. You've seen beneath the surface. Most never will. This is DarkPhilsy, where wisdom is not comfort, it's power.